Hey, you guys, what's up? It's time for another episode of What's Hot and What's Not in Children's Ministry. You guys, there's so much going on in the world right now. There's so much going on in your community. There's so much going on with the volunteers and the children and families that encompass your children's ministry department. So today we are going to talk about the importance of checking in because when it comes to children's ministry, showing people that you really care is hot. But ignoring people and becoming overly obsessed with the programmatic elements is not. So how would people rate you on the caring meter? Stick around and find out. Hey, listen, you guys, when it comes to ministry, effective ministry is all about people. Listen, entertainment is great and it's fun, but all of that becomes really shallow and it just ends up falling flat if people don't feel like you really care. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that you put your all into creating an amazing experience in children's ministry for the children and families at your church. I love it that you have found this amazing deal. And now all the kids can get extra Easter eggs during the Easter egg hunt at the Easter extravaganza. I love it that you've been approved to get that really cool thing that you knew that would just be great and that the kids would love. All of those things are important, and I think that that's great that you're doing that. But if people don't feel your heart, that you truly care about them, all of those things are meaningless. Jesus cared enough to stop. And so should we. If you're in ministry and you have become so obsessed with your goals and objectives that you've forgotten to care about people, you are going to lose because in children's ministry, people matter. I want you to care about that mom who's just been diagnosed with cancer. I want you to care about that dad who's just lost his job. I want you to care about that child who's sitting in the back and feels like they have no friends. I want you to care about that volunteer who you had no clue was from the Ukraine and they are having trouble sleeping at night because their heart is so heavy. So today I want to give you 3 tips on things that you can do to help you to become the caring leader that God has called for you to be. Number one, pick up the phone. You guys, this is so simple. You can check in by just picking up a phone. You might have a completely crazy schedule, and I get that, but don't allow that to be an excuse to why you're not checking in on people and showing that you care. Listen to me, when you pick up the phone, you show people that they matter. You give people an opportunity to feel heard, to feel understood, and they legitimately feel a sense of compassion and care and concern from you. And that is so important in children's ministry. So I'm telling you, take out that time to pick up the phone. You will not regret it. But you know what? When you pick up the phone, do me a favor and practice a little thing called listening. I think for us as ministers, sometimes, especially if we struggle empathizing with what other people are going through, it causes us to shrink back. But God wants us to lean into those conversations. It's when we lean into those conversations that we grow and we develop in our understanding by listening to others. So this week, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to call somebody. Simply pick up the phone and call somebody. Only this time, I want you to listen with the intent of understanding and not with the intent of replying. Number two, help them. Depending on what the issue is, see what you can do to help. And you know what? Please don't put this back on the person. I have seen this done dozens of times, and I'm telling you, it falls on deaf ears when you say, hey, you know what? Let me know if you need anything. And then you just walk away. You guys, if people are hurting, they are not going to send you an email in your email box a couple days later with all of the list of things that they need. They're not, because they're too busy hurting. All right, it's those people who are more intentional about getting in there, maybe even being a little more aggressive because they are determined to offer as much help as they can. And you know what? Maybe in and of yourself, you're not enough to help what the situation is calling for. Consider mobilizing a team and getting a team together to come in and offer the help that is needed. I am telling you guys, when you help someone, when they know that you didn't have to help them, that means the world to people, and that shows them that you really care. And number three, understand them. You guys, be willing to go the extra mile to really try to understand what someone is going through. Try to put yourself in their shoes or put on their glasses to see the world through the lens that they are seeing it from. And then ask yourself, if I felt this way, if I was going through this, what type of help would I need? What type of support would I need? And then do it, and then take action. You know, when so many things were going on in the country with all the racial unrest, it was so exhausting for me. But it was the people who picked up the phone to check in, to listen to my heart on how I was feeling. It was the people who came around and offered their help. Esther, please, 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 what is it that I can do to support you in this season, to just make things better, even though your heart is grieving right now? It was the people who would watch 15-minute, maybe 10 or 5-minute documentaries to try to understand what was going on in the world when it came to racial unrest, just so that they could better connect with me and say, Esther, I saw this and it's breaking my heart what's going on in the world, and I want you to know that I love you. I'm telling you, it is those people that I remember, and I continue to treasure them to this day because I know that they truly care. Hey, you guys, that's it for this week's episode of What's Hot and What's Not. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.